Hello and welcome back to the Lisper Podcast. I don't know what happened the first time. The screen just froze up and it just froze up and it wouldn't stop. And so I had to go back in and try it again. So I'm back for a second time. So anybody that was in here, please feel free to hop back in here. All two of you. One of you. How many of you was feel free to hop back in? And like I said, last time I fucked up, I didn't introduce my co-host. The co-host is here. And I waited till noon. He didn't contribute before noon, but he's here now and he's contributing. Okay. He's contributing. Take a sip. And let's get back to business. The Decepticon security team is still over here. Macho Man is here. Freddy's here. Everybody's here. Everybody's ready. And hopefully this time, this fucking laptop or StreamYard or whatever the fuck that ain't gonna happen again. Because I don't got time to fuck around. I don't got time to be fucking around. I gotta get this episode done. And so we're gonna try it again. And hopefully it works out for me, for you, for everybody. But as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by this screen fucking freezing, is that we always hold the Attitude Era in high regard of the era of wrestling. And I am under the impression that it's more of the characters than the era. You know what I'm saying? If Stone Cold happened now, if DX happened now, if The Rock happened now, we wouldn't give a fuck about the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era wouldn't have been what it was. So it was made that way because the characters. It just so happens that Stone Cold said Austin 316 means I whooped your ass back then instead of today. That's all. So I don't think it's the era per se. I think that it's just at the timing of the people that came. Just like Kurt Angle, it just all worked out. They all meshed. You know what I'm saying? It was just a mesh. It was like The Rock was at the perfect time. Stone Cold was the perfect nemesis for The Rock. You know what I'm saying? DX was against the whole company as Mr. McMahon was coming up and being the boss, and the Mr. McMahon character was being created. And it all just came together at the same time. John Cena came up. You know what I mean? That era of wrestling just came together at the same time. All these characters were there at the same time. They merged at the same time. And it just worked out for the storylines. And it just worked out for what was going on. It don't necessarily mean that the era was better. But I would say like some of the characters were better. Some of the wrestlers might have had better personas or better attitudes, so to speak, or whatever the case may be. But my brothers had sent me this thing. They saw it on Facebook, or they found wherever they found it at. I don't know where they found it at. But they sent me this thing on our group chat, text, whatever you want to call it, that said era versus era matches. And I looked at it and I said, yo, yeah, that's banging. That's what's up. That's what we're going to do, right? And I tried to get them to do it, but as you can see, I'm here alone. As you can see, not one of them showed up because they don't want to debate me for real. My brother showed up to debate me one time for real. He lost. I mean, he did good. You know, Sean showed up to debate me and Sean lost. And even though Sean might say he won or whatever the case may be, he lost because I got more people that voted for me, so I beat him 2-1. But the other reason why he lost is because his arguments wasn't as good as mine. People were telling me, hey, that guy didn't do good. He didn't mention this. He didn't mention that. He missed a lot of stuff. But he wasn't a big wrestling fan, man. I think he just wanted to get on with your boy. I told him it was a good idea to get on with me because I need guests, but I also told him, like, you can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I told him that I'm not to be fucked with. And here's the other thing, too. Somebody mentioned that about me having my co-host be the alcohol. Yeah, because the alcohol is my co-host. 1800 jalapeno and cucumber is my co-host. They contribute to the episode. Okay, they help me do what I'm doing. Okay, the shit helps me do what I'm doing. All right, it does. And besides that, I can't have a real co-host. I cannot have a real co-host because although I tell my guests, you can come on the show. You can come on the show, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. It's freedom of speech like a bug on here. I don't care what you say. Don't talk about my mama. You know, don't talk about my mama. But I don't care what you say, like, don't talk about my wife neither. Don't talk about my kids neither. Matter of fact, keep my family name out your motherfucking mouth. But other than that, you can say whatever you want. You can have any opinion you want. I am not going to hinder you from talking. But what I am going to do, I ain't going to let you take over. See, a co-host means that he's going to be taking over. Like, he's going to be conducting this shit. Like, he's going to maybe talk more than me. And you ain't talking more than me on my show. You can talk more than me on your show. You can talk more than me. Sometimes the starting five guys talk more than me because I'm not the star to start five. I'm part of a group and be teammates, so I'm not the star. But on my show, I'm the star. If you start talking more than me, you got to go. Co-host listen, if you co-host the show with me and you sit next to me and you start talking too much, I'm gonna hit you with one of these. I'm gonna hit you just like this, and then I'm gonna go Scarface on you. Who started this shit? Me. That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to break you back on down. Or it may get to the point where I'm gonna just be like, well, you shut the fuck up. It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to do whatever I want to do. I don't want to co-host. I don't want to fight. I don't want y'all to see me put my hands on nobody on screen because I might hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that. Oh, he said my shit's frozen. Yeah, I started over, brother. I started over. Is it frozen again? Because my screen ain't frozen. Are y'all frozen? I don't know what's going on. If somebody is watching on the Facebook Live or the YouTube or whatever the case may be, tell me if my screen frozen again. Because it froze last time. I could see it was frozen, but now I got a text message saying it was frozen, but I don't see it frozen on my end. So maybe the live might be frozen, or maybe he's on the old live and he said it was frozen when he went to the old one and he ain't on the new one yet. I don't know, but I'm going to just keep going because it looks like it's still working on my screen. So I'm going to keep going. If it's fucked up later, I'll post it later. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. But anyway, like back to what I was saying, I don't want nobody to see me put my hands on nobody on live. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm just co-host talk too much. I may like hit him with one of these. And if it's a female co-host, what is that going to look like? Plus, I would never have a female co-host. You know, still a female co-host, whatever the case may be. But anyway, I'm having some technical difficulties with the podcast, I think. But if it's good, I'll post it. If it's not, we'll try again another time. I might have to redo this episode, or it's going to save on StreamYard, so I just might repost this episode. So to my guests, or anybody watching, anybody trying to watch, I don't have no fucking guests. What am I talking about? Anybody trying to watch this show right now on the Facebook Live or whatever, I apologize. I apologize for the whole situation. Maybe it'll fix later, but I'm going to just continue with the show. Okay, so now they sent me this thing, the error versus error matches, and I was like, okay, it was interesting. I wanted them to be on it. They couldn't show up. You know, we couldn't make it work. Okay, so now I'm attempting to make it work now, and hopefully it does work. Okay, so anyway, here's the deal. The first match on there was the immortal Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, listen. Skill-wise, I'm not about to say or compare Hulk Hogan to Stone Cold Steve Austin skill-wise. I'm not. I don't think that Hulk Hogan was a great wrestler. I don't think that Hulk Hogan was a great in-ring performer. And I know he had some shit in Japan before he was Hulk Hogan. I know he can do drop kicks and shit like that. He used to. I know all of that what you're saying, but we talking about WWE Hulk Hogan. We talking about the Hulkster. We talking about Hulkamania. We talking about the guy that poses. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the guy who finished the move. Was a motherfucking leg. Probably one of the most standard moves in wrestling. That's the Hulk Hogan we talking about. So in-ring wrestling skills, no. There's no way Hulk Hogan compares to Stone Cold Steve Austin. In no way. We forget that Stone Cold was Stunning Steve, but guess what? We're not talking about Stunning Steve either. We're not talking about Stunning Steve either. We're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, the brawler, the guy that made that name for himself. That dude. We're talking about him. Now, wrestling skills, as far as he's concerned, wasn't that great either. Now, we know Stone Cold Steve Austin could wrestle. We knew Stunning Steve wasn't but Stone Cold Steve Austin. That guy, the WWE got an attitude there with Stone Cold. He wasn't no good wrestler. He was a brawler. He literally go in the ring, open up a can of whoop ass on you. So comparable to Hulk Hogan, he still was better in ring than Hulk Hogan because he still sometimes when he had matches with Bret Hart, when he had matches with people that were technical matches with Kurt Angle, he still was able to display some of his technical abilities when he had to. You know what I mean? He could still do a little roll up pin or something like that. So in ring, I still give him the edge over Hulk Hogan, even though he kind of became a brawler too, in a sense. But and the Stone Cold Stunner was just way better than the fucking leg drop. Just a clear, undisputed Stone Cold Stunner is better than fucking leg drop on everybody's planet and everywhere in the world. But here's the kicker. And the winner of the match is the immortal Hulk Hogan. That's right. Hulk Hogan wins In my book, Hulk Hogan, in my book, defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you know why Hulk Hogan defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin? Because Hulkamania was running wild. Hulkamania was running wild. And although Stone Cold would have been considered a favorite too at the same time, Stone Cold would have been favorite, Hulk Hogan would have been favorite. Nothing really beat Hulkamania. Nothing beat Hulkamania. I'm sorry, they called him the Immortal Hulk Hogan for a reason. He had the World Heavyweight Championship for a long time for a reason. For 10 years in the WWE, he was the top guy for a reason. That's because he had the charisma. That's because he had everything going on for him. I'm sorry, Hulk Hogan had everything going on for him. And although Stone Cold had everything going on for him, in Stone Cold's era, there was other guys. There was The Rock who took some time away from Stone Cold. There was Undertaker who took some time away from Stone Cold. There was a lot of guys during that era in the WWE that took something away from Stone Cold. That was believable to be him. That was like believable to be the top guy at the time when Stone Cold was in the WWE. And I'm sorry, when Hulk Hogan was the top guy, there was no other top guy. The other top guy was Ric Flair, and Ric Flair wasn't there. Ric Flair was in WCW, but there was no other top guy in the WWE to fuck with Hulk Hogan at the time during his era. And Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania was running wild, and there was nothing like it. Even when the Ultimate Warrior came, dum, 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 and they thought Ultimate Warrior was like going to be that guy, and the fans loved him, and Ultimate Warrior won that match. He won that WrestleMania 6 match, and they gave him the title of Hulk Hogan. They let him beat Hulk Hogan. He let his ego go to his head. He tried to negotiate some dumb shit in the back, and ultimately he wasn't even good as champion. They had to get rid of him. They had to give it back to Sergeant Slaughter as an interim guy so that they can let Hulk Hogan take it back. Okay? Yeah, they said Hogan was a cornball. Unfortunately, didn't feel this way until recently, but it's true. Oh, it's damn true. Oh. It's true. Hogan was a cornball. Yeah, see, this is the thing. You don't feel that way about Hogan being a cornball until recently, right? You recently felt that way. But when Hulkamania was running wild, you didn't feel like he was a cornball. You know why? Because you was living in that time. You were living in that time. See, that's the thing. You were living in a time where what Hulk Hogan was doing was not corny. What Hulk Hogan was doing was the shit. We was kids. We was with that Hulkamania. We wanted to rip our shirt. We wanted to do the poses. We wanted to do this. We wanted to put our ear to the crowd. Do that dumb shit. It's corny now? Yeah, it's corny as shit right now. Right now, it's corny as shit. But when it was happening, it wasn't corny. When it was happening, we was in it. We was in that moment. We was fucking Hulk, motherfucking maniacs. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go by the era too. You can't say, oh, Hulk Hogan was corny. Yeah, he was corny in 1988. But it was 1988. Everybody was fucking corny. You compare 1988 Hulk Hogan to what you think is corny now. Nah, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Hulk Hogan was a cornball. Yeah, we look at it now, we go, that shit was corny. That posing was corny. The leg drop was corny. I can talk about it. But back in the day, when you got that Hogan leg drop, you was 1, 2, 3. It wasn't corny. It was devastating. Everybody got pinned by it. Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, Big Motherfuckers, Big John Studd, okay, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Ravishing Rick Rude, right, Roddy Piper, everybody went down to that leg drop. Okay? So I'm just saying that when Hulk Hogan was at the top of his game in his era, there was nobody beating him. He was called immortal for a reason, and Stone Cold just never got to that level. Stone Cold never got to that level of immortality. Yo, the leg drop was devastating. Yo, right on the front, that leg drop was devastating. Who kicked out from the leg drop? Hulk Hogan was wrestling from WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6. WrestleMania 6 was the first time, and it was the Ultimate Warrior, was the first time I ever seen anybody successfully kick out of that leg drop. Okay? Now, maybe on a Saturday Night Live, maybe you got a random thing. Maybe I think Andre the Giant might have pushed Hulk Hogan off one time, something like that. But for the most part, Hulk Hogan won every match with that leg drop. And he was defending his title like 3 times a month. So that leg drop was devastating, bro. That leg drop took out plenty of wrestlers. Okay, so don't try to front like the shit wasn't devastating. It was a devastating leg drop. It was corny as fuck now because we realized it's just a standard wrestling move. But back then, when you saw Hulk Hogan lift that leg up and drop it on somebody's motherfucking head in their throat, they was done. And we was cheering. We was bow, 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 down, down. We was ripping our shirts and all kinds of shit. If Stone Cold never got that level, like I said, when Hulkamania was running wild, there was nobody else. And Stone Cold was Austin 316 kicking ass and stunning everybody and going through Vince McMahon. Stone Cold had a feud with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has wins over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Vince McMahon won a Royal Rumble, while Stone Cold Steve Austin was supposed to be the top guy in WWE. Now, I know that's a stretch because I know Vince gets to say whatever he wants and Vince owns the company, but Austin, he didn't get to that level. And I'm sorry, Austin is the GOAT. I'm sorry, but the GOAT that belongs to the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And then you got Ric Flair second. Okay, and then I can even put Hogan in front of Austin for what Hogan did. There's a lot of arguments for Austin not being the GOAT. Now, I don't mind him being on your GOAT list, and I don't mind him being at your number one, but I say Austin is about fifth. And my countdown, Austin is about number 5. You know what I mean? But Austin can legit be a GOAT. See what I'm saying? Because if that's your opinion, Austin can be a GOAT, but Austin ain't no GOAT. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The match is won by Hulk Hogan. Okay. Now the second match on this list says Roddy Piper versus The Rock. Now for me, Roddy Piper and The Rock is not the match that I want to see, because they got Macho Man on this list and they got Macho Man versus Jericho, which woo-wee, that's a match, right? They got Macho Man against Jericho, which woo-wee, that is a match. But I would say Macho Man should be versus The Rock. Macho Man versus The Rock is probably the more match than Roddy Piper, but I'll give it to Roddy Piper because Roddy Piper was essentially Hulk Hogan's nemesis, even though he ain't really beat him. But in this case, okay, Roddy Piper was the ultimate heel. You couldn't get no more heelish than Roddy Piper. Okay? Roddy Piper would do things that I just told y'all don't do. Don't talk about my mom, don't talk about my family. Roddy Piper would talk about your mama, your family, your sister, your brother. Roddy Piper would, if he had an opportunity, he probably would slap your mama right in front of your face. Roddy Piper was a guy that knew how to get under that skin. He knew how to talk that talk, and he knew how to wrestle. And the funny thing about Roddy Piper, we didn't even find out that he knew how to wrestle until later on. When Roddy Piper was the bad guy, we just thought, oh, Roddy Piper's just a regular dude. He goes in there, he gives it his all, he puts you in a sleeper hole, he wins some matches against corny people. He ain't beating a Hulkster. And that's all we thought. But when he turned heel and we actually liked him, and he started wrestling those matches against Bret Hart, Roddy Piper had a great match against Bret Hart. Okay? He started wrestling those matches against Goldust, and we like, damn, Roddy Piper's in there fucking doing technical shit with Dustin. So Roddy Piper was a great wrestler. Okay? But we ain't talking about his wrestling. He ain't on this list because of his wrestling, because he ain't never do nothing. Intercontinental champion a couple of times, but he ain't never win the big one. He ain't never beat Hulk Hogan. He ain't never do his big show. He ain't never run the company. But he was the best heel because he knew how to talk and he could walk that walk. Roddy Piper ain't give a fuck. He'd go in there with anybody and he'd get it on with him and he'd wrestle with him. And Roddy Piper put on a good match, put on a good show. With that being said, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, okay? Because I'm going to say that the winner of this match is The Rock. And the reason why the winner of this match is The Rock is not because I think that The Rock is so much better than Roddy Piper. The Rock is essentially the same. He was better on the mic a little bit because he had jokes and he was kind of funny. But I'm more for the asshole. I'm more for the asshole. The Rock tried to be an asshole. We was laughing at him. Roddy Piper was a pure asshole, so he's more to my heart. But the thing is, here's the reason. Okay, in ring, Rock was good. Rock was good. Rock was technical. Rock was good. Rock could brawl, but Rock had the technical thing. The Rock bottom was a great move. He stole it from Booker T, we all know. But it was still a great move. The Rock was a great character. The Rock was a great heel. The Rock was a great baby face. The Rock just had it all going on. He was great. His song was great. Everything The Rock did was great. In ring, all of that. You can make an argument for The Rock being the GOAT over Stone Cold. You can make an argument for The Rock being the GOAT over Stone Cold. You could. Okay? So I'm going to say The Rock is The Rock. And I'm not going to say that he's significantly better than Roddy Piper. What I'm going to say is the reason why Roddy Piper does not win this match is because he don't have to. He don't have to. And that's the difference between The Rock and Roddy Piper. The Rock has to win matches. No matter what you say, no matter how good you are, no matter how good you talk, no matter how good you do what you do, in that era of The Rock and Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels and all those guys, you still had to win matches. You couldn't talk that talk if you couldn't walk that walk. You had to win matches. And so Roddy Piper loses that match because Roddy Piper was one of those dudes that didn't have to win matches. Like I said before, Roddy Piper didn't win shit for him. Roddy Piper had like two Intercontinental titles since, I think. And one of those belts he won against the Mountie. He beat the Mountie for Intercontinental Championship. And still, Piper is one of the best. Piper's one of the, he ain't making the GOAT list top 10, but Piper's on the list. Piper is somebody who can be considered. Piper is on this era for era thing. And he wasn't a real winner. You know what I mean? Piper didn't have to beat Hogan to be Hogan's arch nemesis. Okay. Piper didn't have to beat anybody. If you were in a program with Roddy Piper, you was in trouble. And he didn't have to win. All he had to do was torment you. All he had to do was do his hateful shit. And even if you won the match, nobody cared. It was all about Piper. I even learned in a past story that Roddy Piper was supposed to hit Jimmy Superfly Snuka with a fake coconut. They gave him a fake coconut to hit him with. He knew it was fake, but he was mad at Snuka. He hit that motherfucker with a real coconut. That's how bad Roddy Piper was. But like I said, I give this win to The Rock only because Roddy Piper didn't have to win. It would not tarnish Piper's history. It would not tarnish Piper. It would not take him down a notch. It would not stop his momentum in any way to lose to The Rock. Whereas if The Rock lost to Roddy Piper, we'd be like, what the fuck? People like, Rock, you're supposed to be fighting Stone Cold. You're supposed to be fighting Kurt Angle. You're supposed to be fighting these upper echelons of wrestlers, and you lose to that dude. It would be devastating. It would be as devastating as Hogan's leg drop was. So I don't want Roddy Piper to beat The Rock in the wrestling sense, in storyline sense. It just doesn't make sense at all for The Rock to lose to Roddy Piper. It doesn't. But, I mean, Roddy's got a shot. I mean, he's going to put forth a good match. I know that. And I know The Rock's going to get put in that sleeper hole. I know that. Now, The Rock's going to survive the sleeper hole, but he's going to be in. Piper's not going to be an easy out by any means. He was never an easy out by anybody. But like I said, Piper's career wasn't based on him winning. Piper's career was based on him antagonizing his opponents, setting up the stories, and then letting the stories play out in the ring. And WWE don't care about the stories playing out in the ring. Okay, they just care about the end results, and they care about getting to it. They care about the soap opera part more than they care about the in-ring wrestling. So based on the in-ring wrestling, Roddy Piper can afford to lose. The Rock couldn't. So I give that match to The Rock. And then we come. The Macho Man, Randy Savage. And I'm not being biased because he's sitting right over there looking at me going, hey, he wrote this episode and he's pointing at me right now. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I'm dying, devastating, Hogan's leg drop. I'm just saying. He's right over there looking at me, but I'm not being biased. But it's the Macho Man, Randy Savage versus Chris Jericho. Now, we do have to have a great appreciation for the Macho Man Randy. Because the Macho Man Randy Savage is probably the greatest mid-card wrestler in the history of wrestling. And I think, without a shadow of a doubt, he would have been a great leader of the company. He would have been a great world champion had it not been for Hulkamania running wild. When Macho Man won that championship, we celebrated even walk away Hulk Hogan, and it was the Mega Powers, and Macho Man was the champ, and Macho Man was defending that title against everybody, and Macho Man had the ability to beat anyone. Macho Man was better in the ring than Hogan. Macho Man was better on the mic than Hogan. I thought it was going to be the Macho era. I thought the Macho era was happening, and then the Mega Powers broke up, and guess what? WWE went with Hogan because, like I said, Hulkamania was still running wild, and Macho Man was better as a heel than he was as a non-heel. You know what I'm saying? Macho Man, when he teamed up with the Mega Powers, couldn't say the shit he wanted to say. He couldn't do the heinous things he wanted to do. Remember, he put that bell on Ricky Steamboat's neck? Yeah. Good Mega Power Macho Man couldn't do no shit like that. But you always knew that Mega Power Macho Man wasn't feeling that shit. He looked like he wasn't feeling that shit. Even when they were still cool, sometimes he would tag Hogan and he looked like he was disgusted with him. You can tell Macho Man did not like Hulk Hogan in real life. I don't care what you say. Even though they put them together, even though they were Mega Powers, even though they were supposed to be running wild and he fought Hulkamania, even though Macho Man agreed to wear that yellow and gold color, even though he knew that wasn't his shit, even though Macho Man agreed to share his wife, Miss Elizabeth, as a manager with Hulk Hogan when she ain't never managed nobody else. Macho Man agreed to all of that, but you can tell on his face that motherfucker was disgusted. You can tell. Yeah, I mean, listen, Macho Man is one of the greatest. He could have been greater. Hulk Hogan stunted my man's growth. Hulk Hogan held Macho Man down. And if Hogan had left that company, then Macho Man for sure would have been the number one guy. There was nobody better than Macho in that company, Hogan included. Hogan was not better than Macho Man, but you know how the things go. The politics play a part, money plays a part. And us fans, we fucked up. We fucked up because we cheered for Hogan more than Macho. We fucked up. We did. But, I mean, now in hindsight, I can say it. I should have been a Macho Man. I should have been what was Macho Man? I should have been a Macho Maniac. That's what they was called. I should have been a motherfucking Macho Maniac instead of a fucking Hulkamaniac. You know what I mean? But I wasn't. I appreciate it, Macho Man. I did not like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I was glad he put that belt on his throat. But you know what I mean? Other than that, though, I didn't have the full respect that I should have for Macho Man. And now Macho Man is against Chris Jericho. And y'all can say what y'all want about Chris Jericho, but Lionheart Chris Jericho in WCW was great. Okay? And Chris Jericho has always been a great wrestler, but we're not talking about WCW Chris Jericho. We're not talking about the Lionheart. We're talking about Y2J. Okay, Chris Jericho in WWE was Y2J, and he came in with a bang, and he did a lot of things, man. 9-time Intercontinental Champion. He played the mid-card. This is a perfect match for him. These are the two mid-card monsters, okay, going against each other. And it was great to have Chris Jericho there. Because Chris Jericho was one of those guys that was good enough on the mic to compete with The Rock, good enough on the mic to compete with Stone Cold, Kurt Angle. So anybody that was there, he was good enough on the mic to compete with. He was good enough in the ring to compete with. And he was also one of those guys that didn't have to win. Chris Jericho didn't have to beat Stone Cold. He didn't have to beat The Rock. He didn't have to beat those guys to be popular. He didn't have to beat those guys to be famous. He didn't have to beat those guys to stay on top of his game. All he had to do, he was essentially like a Roddy Piper. I'm just going to antagonize him. I'm just going to set the story up. I'm just going to be really, really bad. And then I'm going to give up a really, really good match, and I'm going to lose at the end, and nobody's going to be mad about it. They're going to be like, damn, Jericho did his big one. Because all Jericho got to do is do his big one, because nobody thinks of these guys as guys that can compete. You know, Chris Jericho was Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're just like, Jericho's going to get killed. He's going to get murdered. There's no way he can beat Stone Cold. So by Jericho lasting 15 minutes, by Jericho kicking out of the stunner, by Jericho hitting all his moves, cold breaker, all that shit, by Jericho having Steve Austin in the walls of Jericho is a win for him. It's like, damn, he got Steve Austin in the walls of Jericho. Damn, could Steve possibly tap out or pass out? Like, is Jericho going to beat Steve Austin? So Jericho did not have to win matches. Okay? He just had to be good, and he was motherfucking good. Hey, Y2J was good. And Jericho's over there in AEW right now, and he's looking fat. He's looking a little sloppy, but he's still good at what he does. He's funny. He's entertaining me. Jericho is still entertaining me. He's still doing good, but we talking about him versus Macho Man Randy Savage, and the winner is it's the Macho Man for sure. It's the Macho Man just because Miss Elizabeth is there and she got on a banging ass dress and the makeup is popping, the face is beat, her dress is popping, and I want to give it to her. Okay, fuck Macho. I'm giving the match. Miss Elizabeth is the motherfucker. Thank you. Macho Man wins this match. You know why Macho Man wins this match? Because he's just better. He's just better. Macho Man is better than Chris Jericho. Okay? Macho Man was a better character. Macho Man, to me, was better in ring. Macho Man had a better physique. And like I said, Macho Man kind of got to the point where he did have to win matches. Macho Man wasn't relevant when he wasn't Intercontinental Champion. Macho Man wasn't relevant when he wasn't in the Mega Powers. Macho Man wasn't relevant when he wasn't winning matches. They had to come up with stuff for him. They came up with the Macho King. He had that feud with Ravishing Rick Rude. He had that feud with Jake the Snake. You know what I mean? They had to come up with a lot of feuds for Macho Man, and Macho Man had to do a lot of extra stuff to kind of keep himself on top. Okay? He said, as much as I hated Jericho, he was solid. Respect. That's right. Jericho was solid. You got to respect him. I love Jericho because it's the asshole in me. It's the asshole in me that loves the assholes of wrestling. And Jericho is a complete 100% fucking scumbag asshole. But the asshole in me love that. That's why I love Roddy Piper. That's why I love Macho Man, except for I ain't like how he's talking to Miss Elizabeth. I ain't like how he's talking to Miss Elizabeth, but I love Macho Man. But I'm just saying, Macho Man has to win this. Because Macho Man can't lose matches to take him down. Now, yeah, he lost to Ricky Steamboat, but Ricky Steamboat is Ricky Steamboat. You know what I'm saying? And he had to lose Ricky Steamboat. After you put a belt on somebody's neck and take him out of commission and fuck him up like that, damn near try to kill him, you got to lose the match. But guess what? Macho Man lost that match, but guess what? That match against Ricky Steamboat was probably one of the greatest matches in wrestling history. They talk about that match as one of the greatest matches of all time, and that's why this will be a great match. Jericho can give Macho Man one of the greatest matches of all time and let Macho Man win it. And Macho Man needs to win it more than Chris Jericho needed to win it. Chris Jericho had a lot of guys that was above him, a lot of guys in wrestling that was above him at the time, and he couldn't be the face of the WWE. Jericho had no chance of being the face of the WWE. He had no chance. So when he had no chance, it was like, I can lose matches and nobody's going to care because they know that I'm not going to be the top guy. Macho Man should have, right? Says Macho Man should have been the face of the WWF. Macho Man should have been the face of the WWF, which proves my point. Macho Man cannot afford to lose matches like this. I'm back. I'm back. I had a brief little I don't know what happened, man. This app is acting up, but I'm back. And like I was saying before, Macho Man had to continue with Hulkamania. So Macho Man couldn't lose, like he couldn't lose some matches. It was certain matches that Macho Man couldn't lose because it was like if Macho Man lost to certain dudes, they would be like, hey, Macho's not it, even though they didn't think he was it anyway. They didn't think he was it. So they still don't think he's it. So Macho Man has to beat Chris Jericho. And plus, I think he could anyway. I think in ring, Macho Man could beat Chris Jericho. The next match I see on here is the Hart Foundation versus D Generation X. And I'ma just say this, okay? I don't like that match being on this list at all. I don't approve of this match being on this list at all. I don't think that D Generation X is a tag team to fight the Hart Foundation because the Generation X that they have here shows Triple H, and then it shows the New Age Outlaws. So it has the Hart Foundation versus Triple H and New Age Outlaws, and it has the Hart Foundation as being Owen Hart, Bret Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So it's like a 3-on-3, like a 6-man match. That's dumb. That's dumb. That whole match is dumb. I don't like it. Okay, AEW has the trios matches. That's fine, and sometimes WWE has a 6-man tag. That's fine. That's fine. But as far as like teams are concerned, as far as like generational matches are concerned, the Hart Foundation should not be fighting DX. And if the Hart Foundation, as it is construed on here with Bret Hart, Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, and Owen Hart, was going against DX, the DX rendition would be Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and possibly X-Pac, I guess. Because there's no way you split up the New Age Outlaws, but there's no way you put Owen Hart and Bret Hart on the same team and then want to fight them with DX and you don't use Shawn Michaels and Triple H. There's no way. If they had the Hart Foundation with Bret Hart and Owen, if they had a tag team match, not even the Hart Foundation, just a tag team match, Bret Hart and Owen Hart versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that would be fucking awesome. That would be the match, but that's not the match they have here. Okay, if you're going to have the regular Hart Foundation with Bret Hart and Jimmy Anvil Neidhart as a tag team against a new tag, against the other tag team, it cannot be DX because there's no comparison between them and the New Age Outlaws. I'm sorry. I like Billy Gunn. Okay, I like badass Billy Gunn. Okay, I like the Road Dogg Jesse James. Okay, but they weren't a tag team at the caliber of the motherfucking Hart Foundation. They were not at that level of tag team where I can be like, hey, these guys are one of the greatest tag teams in the history of tag teaming. Like I can say the Hart Foundation. They're not tag team goats. Like I can say the Hart Foundation. Yeah, they won tag team titles. They had to win tag team championships because they was a part of DX. The only reason why Road Dogg Jesse James and Fat Ass Billy Gunn was ever tag team champions was because they were part of DX. And you know how those factions go. When you have a good faction, the faction is only good if they can take over the WWE for a little while. So when DX took over the WWE for a little while, the way to take over the WWE with these factions is to have all the belts. Okay, so DX had to have all the belts. When he had to have the ability to have all the belts, so they put them two together. They made them a tag team, and they gave them the belt. They gave the belts, but that was just a faction DX loophole. They didn't deserve the belts. They wasn't a great tag team. Okay. Oh, you didn't know? Well, your ass better call somebody. Call me because you didn't know these dudes was garbage. Not garbage. Not like you could throw them in the trash, but not like they ain't Hart Foundation. Okay, so now let's just go with what they got here. Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, Bret Hart, and Owen Hart versus Triple H and the New Age Outlaws. No contest for Hart Foundation wins. Let's go with what I thought. Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, Bret Hart and Owen Hart versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I say Bret Hart and Owen Hart wins because because there's no scenario where I can think of that can say that two guys can beat Bret Hart and Owen Hart together. I would arguably say that Bret Hart is one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life, and I can also arguably say with a straight face that Owen was better than Bret. I can say with a straight face that I think Owen was better than Bret. So if I'm putting Bret on the GOAT list, and I am, then if I'm putting Owen in the GOAT list, I'm not putting Owen on the GOAT list because Owen never got to the top of the mountain like Bret did. But in ring wise, Owen can be on the top. Okay, so if I'm going to say in ring that I got Owen Hart and Bret Hart, I'm going to say ain't nobody beating them two. Ain't nobody beating Owen Hart and Bret Hart together. I don't care if it is the greatest of all time, the GOAT Shawn Michaels. I don't care if it is number top 10 of all time, the game Triple H. I don't give a fuck. They not beating Owen and Bret. It's just not under no circumstances going to happen. Okay, so I'm giving this to the Hart Foundation, no matter what. I knew y'all was about to think I was about to be like, damn. Because I'm the biggest DX fan on the planet. But I yo, if anything I do, I keep it 100. If anything I do, I keep it 100. And keeping it 100, DX can't fuck with the Hart Foundation. Not in this sense. Now Owen and Bret versus Shawn and Triple H. I would pick Owen and Bret. You can try to say Shawn and Triple H will win. I mean, it's a good argument for that, but no. Hart Foundation versus DX is not the match. Now, Hart Foundation maybe versus the New Day. You know, Hart Foundation maybe versus like the Hardy Boys, maybe something like that. You know, I don't know, but not DX, not Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. That's not the dream match. Nobody even whoever put that on there was being smart. Or whoever put that on there was trying to find somebody from the Attitude Era that like could fight the Hart Foundation. I don't know why this match was mentioned, but I'm just saying Hart Foundation had way better guys, tag teams that you could go off of to fight them than it did. I think this was disrespectful to the Hart Foundation, especially when you put Bret and Owen. You put Bret and Owen. Yeah, that is so much disrespect. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount of disrespect when you're talking about Bret and Owen. And so that's what I'm gonna say with that. The next match on here is Ricky Steamboat. Remember Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? I was talking about him because Macho Man fucked him up with the belt. I never liked Ricky Steamboat. And Ricky Steamboat's best years was behind him. Okay, Ricky Steamboat best years wasn't in WWE. I watched Ricky Steamboat in NWA. I watched Ricky Steamboat in his matches against Ric Flair. I watched Ricky Steamboat a lot before he got to WWE, and his best times was behind him. The WWE Ricky Steamboat was a watered down Ricky Steamboat because he didn't have that star power. Ricky Steamboat didn't have that star quality. Ricky Steamboat was a guy that you liked because he was a good guy, because he was a cool guy, because he was a baby face, and because we knew him from NWA, because he was a good performer in the ring, and he had a cool gimmick with his dragon-like clothes, and he was the dragon, and we like words like dragon, we like shit like that, we like stuff like that, and so that's the case. Why am I not at work? Because I'm on 410s. Today is my fucking day off. I don't have to be at work. Why are you not at work? Or you at work? If you is at work, why are you on Facebook? But no, stay on Facebook. Keep watching. I don't argue with you. But anyway, so Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, we like words like dragon. We like his little dragon costume. And he was a cool dude, but he wasn't that good on the mic. He didn't have that much charisma as far as I was concerned. And like I said, I haven't seen him put in good work in NWA. I done seen him put in good work with Ric Flair. I done seen him put in good work with trying to be the championship guy. So for him working the mid card in WWE wasn't nothing spectacular to me. Wasn't nothing good to me. Wasn't nothing where I wanted to be a part of that or wanted to be involved in it. So with that being the case, Ricky Steamboat just wasn't that dude. Now in ring he was that dude, and then we got him going up against. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot, Mr. Retire. My bad. I forgot. Fill me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. They got Ricky Steamboat going against Kurt Angle, right? They got Ricky Steamboat going against Kurt Angle. And wow. I think this is a good match based on the fact that Kurt was better in ring than a lot of people try to give him credit for. You know, people try to think of Kurt Angle. Oh, Kurt Angle was a cornball. Kurt Angle was an Olympic guy. Kurt Angle was this. He was corny. He drunk milk and all that dumb shit people be saying. But the truth of the matter is, and the fact of the matter is that Kurt Angle was great in ring. Kurt Angle was a really, 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 really great wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And Kurt Angle would be able to go toe to toe with Ricky Steamboat technically. And Kurt Angle was a little bit of he could brawl. Like Kurt Angle could do everything in that ring. Okay, and Kurt Angle was great on the mic because Kurt Angle milks his, his Olympic medals. He milked that the proper way. He came in. I'm an Olympic gold medalist. I'm better than all you guys. You guys are doing this fake wrestling shit, this WWE shit, and look at me. I really won some wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I really won some wrestling, and I really got these gold medals to prove that I won some wrestling. I beat people all across the world in real life shit. I'm the man. I'm the best guy here. I'm the best guy here. You can't get no better than me. I'm the standard. And then he got his little group with him, the best tag team in the world, and it was like what was he called? Angle Team or whatever. He had Shelton Benjamin and them dudes, and he was the standard, and he was that dude, and he was funny about it. And then when he became in that rivalry with Stone Cold was drinking beer, he's like, "You're drinking beer, you think you're an American? I drink milk and all that." Kurt Angle had the angle. He played it right. He showed up in the ring. He put on some of the greatest matches that I've ever seen. Kurt Angle was that dude, and guess what? In the world, man. Yeah, that's right. It's true. It's damn true. Kurt Angle beats Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You know why? Because Kurt Angle was top tier. Okay? Kurt Angle was top of the company. Kurt Angle was a guy that was on that tier of World Heavyweight Championship. Okay? Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was never that dude. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was never that dude. What do you mean, no Angle slander? He was great top. I'm not slandering him. I'm putting Angle on that pedestal. Okay? Yeah, later, 454, that's what's up. I'm putting Angle on the pedestal. I would never slander Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was one of my favorites. I even like the fact that you can say you sucked and he embraced it. You suck. You suck. You suck. He embraced that shit. But I'm just saying, in general, not you, fool, okay? Because I was just saying, in general, Angle was slandered, bro. A lot of people was like, they didn't like Kurt Angle. They was corny. He was corny. He was this, he was that. And I was just like, okay, y'all not seeing what I'm seeing. Y'all not seeing this man on the mic making me laugh. Y'all not seeing this man going back and forth with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm waiting for Angle. That's the point. Y'all not seeing this man going back and forth with The Rock, and I'm waiting for Angle. I'm waiting for Angle's response because I already know Stone Cold's going to say, "I'll whoop your ass right now." Stone Cold's going to chuck his beer. Stone Cold's going to do a stick. I already know The Rock's going to make up a funny song, or The Rock's going to call Kurt Angle, he's going to insult him. He's going to call him some funny names or whatever. He's going to tell him that he can take his Olympic medals and shove them up his candy ass. I know all that. You never know what Kurt's going to say. Kurt was that dude that would say something, you just be like, "What, Kurt?" Like, motherfucker. And then he get in that ring, and you're just like, "Damn, Kurt almost won that." Kurt put on a performance. That ankle lock was vicious. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm going with Kurt Angle over Ricky the Dragon Steamboat just because he was the better character and just because he was more of a push. He was more of a guy that you can push. He was more of a guy that you can use in more places. He was a guy you could put up against Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was a guy you could put up against The Rock. He was a guy that you could put up against Triple H. You could put him in a storyline. You could put Ricky Steamboat in no storyline with none of them dudes. He'd get ate up on the mic. He wouldn't be able to cut a promo. Ricky Steamboat couldn't cut a promo against Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Ricky Steamboat wasn't a guy that needed to be pushed. So in that sense, I need Kurt Angle to win this match. And I got Kurt Angle winning this match. Okay, here we go. Demolition. Down, 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 down. I am the act. He is the smasher. Like Demolition versus the Brothers of Destruction. This is another one. This is another thing that I feel is kind of disrespectful. For me, I will put Demolition versus like the W. Because although Demolition was big and strong and husky, and they was in there to just destroy people, the Dudley Boys was a tag team that wasn't there to get busy, okay? Steve Vaughn get the tables, you know what I'm saying? The Dudley Boys weren't in there to get busy. The Dudley Boys weren't in there to put in that work. And I think that the Dudley Boys and Demolition would have been a match where that work was getting put in like a motherfucker. That work would be getting put in like I don't know what. That match would be insane with Demolition just going in there trying to destroy the Dudley Boys and the Dudley Boys just putting in that work. putting their bodies on the line, getting tables out and chairs out and doing whatever it takes to take the motherfucking Demolition down. So I think that Demolition should be in that ring with the Dudley Boys. I think it's disrespectful to say that Demolition as a tag team should go in that ring against the Brothers of Destruction. Mind you, I'm not taking nothing away from Undertaker and Kane, but they wasn't a tag team. They wasn't a tag team. They was two dudes that was both big at the time they were thrown together because they didn't have nothing to do with either one of them. Undertaker at the time couldn't be in the top echelon because they had Stone Cold The Rock going on. They had the Stone Cold feud with Vince McMahon going on. They had they had a lot of shit going on with top tier guys. Stone Cold, Rock, Kurt Angle, Vince McMahon, John Cena. They had too many guys, and the Undertaker just wasn't good enough to throw into that mix. Yeah, hey, listen. I know y'all love Undertaker, but go back. I got a whole episode on how Undertaker was overrated. Undertaker wasn't good enough to be in that mix of guys at that time. He didn't have no storyline to be in that mix of guys. Plus, Undertaker was trying to get to the point where he was going to be part-time and stuff like that. So why not? Hey, listen, let's throw him with Kane. Let's team Undertaker and Kane up together for a little while, call them the Brothers of Destruction, have them wreck a little havoc and shit like that. That was a cool move. I like the tag team, but ain't no way, bro. They wasn't a formidable tag team. They wasn't a tag team that you can count on to be tag team. They was guys that were thrown together. I don't like that. And Demolition was a tag team. Demolition was a tag team. You didn't really see them wrestle singly. They was a tag team. They was a formidable tag team. They was multi-time tag team champions. And so them versus the Brothers of Destruction is not the dream match, not a good setup, none of that. But will it be fun as hell? Yeah, it would be fun as hell. Will it be a good match? Hell yeah, it would be a good match. Will they fucking fuck some shit up? They'll fuck some shit up. But the Brothers of Destruction didn't move fast enough. You know what I mean? The Dudley Boys would move fast. The Dudley Boys would do something. Brothers of Destruction are slow and methodical, and so they can't fuck with Demolition. Kane and Undertaker as a tag team cannot fuck with Axe and Smash, okay? Demolition wins this match. Demolition wins this match, and Demolition wins this match like I would say easily. I would say they would destroy them because they have the tag team cohesion. They are big dudes. They know how to brawl. They move. They actually were good movers in the ring. Like they didn't move slow. They moved pretty fast. The Undertaker and Kane was slow and methodical. Undertaker and Kane popularity-wise, you might want to give them the win. Now, I know I gave some guys wins based on popularity and what he's saying, but once again, Demolition as a tag team needs to win this match. Undertaker and Kane don't need to win this match. As a tag team, Undertaker and Kane can lose to Demolition, and Kane would go on and fight, get a new tag team partner or win an Intercontinental title or go somewhere else and torment some people. Undertaker would go back into WrestleMania match with whoever he picks as his choosing as his WrestleMania opponent, or maybe he'll get a World Heavyweight title shot with Stone Cold or The Rock that was fairly thrown in here and there. Undertaker and Kane don't care about this match. They don't have to win it. Demolition do. Demolition has to win this match. And it's not even based on popularity. Undertaker and Kane will be more popular than them, but if you want to keep them, you want to use Demolition, you want that tag team to prosper, Demolition has to beat Undertaker and Kane. They have to beat the Brothers of Destruction. I don't know why they would even be in a match with them, and it would be a good match, fun match to watch. But at the end of the day, I think Demolition wins, and I think it's not even a contest. I think Demolition I think it would be one of those matches where you'd be like, damn, I've never seen Undertaker get fucked up like that. You know what I mean? Because they would have to, Demolition would have to go in full blast on them and not fuck around. But I would rather see Demolition versus the Dudley Boys. But Demolition versus Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, I'm giving that match to Demolition, and I don't even like it. I don't even like it. Next match, Jake the Snake Roberts versus Mankind. Now, I know, when I first looked at that match on this list, I was like, what? And I know you people right here is probably like, what? Like, y'all, that's not like that, like, what? But then I started to understand it. I started to think about it. Jake the Snake was very good in that ring. Okay. Jake the Snake was a very good wrestler in that ring. And Jake the Snake went through a lot of psychological warfare during his career. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I go, wait a minute. Jake the Snake might be the perfect guy to fight Mankind. Jake the Snake went against a lot of psychological warfare in his career. We forget that Jake the Snake went through that feud with Ravishing and Rick Rude, right? And Ravishing and Rick Rude painted Jake the Snake's wife on his crotch. Y'all forget about that. Y'all remember when Ravishing and Rick Rude used to go, and men, turn your fat ugly, nasty heads away while I give your lady something for real to look at. And he was doing all that, that thrusting of his genital area and that shaking of his booty and all that stuff. Well, you do remember that there was a time when Jake's wife was painted, her face was painted right on his crotch. And he was basically going, hey, Jake, look at your old lady. That's psychological warfare. That's the man getting in your head and fucking with you. And then Jake the Snake always was evil. You know what I mean? He always was like an evil dude. Like he always had them. His promos was always like, oh, you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to fuck with me? I ain't talking about my wife. Like he looked like he was really gonna kill somebody. Jake the Snake looked like a serial killer. He looked like when he cut those promos, he was always serious, and he always had that serious look, and he always had that talk and that voice. Like Jake the Snake looked like a killer. Sound like a killer, might have been a killer. We don't know. But I always was like, even though he was a baby face, Jake the Snake sound vicious. He sound like he's gonna hurt you. And remember when he turned heel, he went full blown heel. Okay? Remember he fucking got that cobra to actually bite Macho Man in the ring? He actually had that cobra bite Macho Man. Remember Macho Man was stuck up in the ropes and he was snapping that snake on the head. The snake was biting Macho Man, biting the shit out of him. That was on wrestling. And it was blood coming out. And we, all that time, we thought that snake was poisonous than a motherfucker. We thought cobras was like poisonous ass snakes. We couldn't get away with it. And he had that cobra bite Macho Man and made it bite him too. And then the thing to think about it, you think about how evil Jake the Snake was. You think about that after that man pinned you, he put a fucking snake on your body. He put a snake on your body and let a snake walk around your body. That means demented. He let a boa walk around on your body after he beat you. He threw a snake out of a bag. He brought a snake to the ring and threw him out of the bag. And his snake's name was Damien. Damien is the guy. Damien is that kid from whatever that movie is, that evil kid. Damien was the evil kid. And he named the snake something evil. And you threw that snake on top of him. Let that snake slip on top of folks, right? He knew that Andre the Giant was real life scared of snakes. He didn't give a fuck. Andre the Giant went in the ring. He threw that snake right in there on Andre, big ass Andre, trying to crawl off the ring, falling all over the place. Andre was legit really scared of snakes, and Jake the Snake didn't give a fuck. He threw that snake right in the ring. Okay. Remember when Jake the Snake was with the Undertaker? Remember when Jake the Snake teamed up with the Undertaker? And he had the Undertaker on the team, supposed to be teammates with him, and he told the Ultimate Warrior, I'm gonna show you how to beat the Undertaker. He made Ultimate Warrior go through all those tasks, all those bullshit things, buried him alive and all that shit to try to make him beat the Undertaker. And then they come to find out he was on the Undertaker's team. And what did he say? Hey, Ultimate Warrior, never trust a snake. Never trust a snake. Didn't he say that? And then on his new song come up and trust me, trust me, trust me. Like, oh shit. Not to mention that DDT was that he was slapping you in the back of the head. Now I found out later that was the signal to say I'm going to give you the DDT, or if you're going to slip out of it, that was the signal. But still, slapping somebody on the back of their head before you drive their head into the ground is insane. It's insane. So Jake the Snake was insane. Even when he went through that feud with the Undertaker, Jake the Snake can get downright nasty. He can get insane. He's been through psychological warfare and he's played psychological warfare. So now him versus Mankind, I can see it. And in the ring, Jake the Snake was definitely better than Mankind. In the ring, Jake the Snake was definitely better than Mick Foley. Okay? So, in that sense of the word, and in that sense of everything that's happening, I'm giving this match to Jake the Snake Roberts. That's right. And the only reason why I'm giving this match to Jake the Snake Roberts is because I'm going to do something that everybody in WWE do when somebody wins a championship that had that 4-4 championship for a long time, and they start cheering, "You deserve it! You deserve it!" You know what I mean? When they retire, they go, "You deserve it." When they get in the Hall of Fame, they go, "You deserve it." When somebody wins the championship, they go, "You deserve it." Jake the Snake deserves this win. Because although Jake the Snake was a great performer, although Jake the Snake was good on the mic because he was evil and stuff like that, although Jake the Snake brought the snake to the ring and he did all these things that I just talked about, Jake the Snake ain't win a motherfucking thing. He lost that feud with Ravishing Rick Rude. I think he won the Intercontinental title one time. He was losing to people like Greg Hammer Valentine and Honky Tonk Man. Everybody was beating Jake the Snake, you know what I'm saying? And Jake the Snake deserved a shot. Even in that feud with the Undertaker, we knew he wasn't going to win it. Okay? Even in that feud with Ultimate Warrior, we knew he wasn't going to win it. Jake the Snake never got respect, never got the win, never got to be a mid-tier, mid-card. Jake the Snake was a good jobber. He was the guy that everybody at the top could beat, and it would be legit. He made you feel legit. You know what I mean? But Jake the Snake was never winning, and Jake the Snake deserved to beat Mankind. Mankind was a guy that can afford to take a loss. Mankind was a guy that couldn't run a company anyway. I don't care what nobody say. I just said this in my Mankind argument. Mankind wasn't a top tier guy. Mankind wasn't a guy who could keep the belt on for a long time. You know, Mick Foley with the tie and all that, he became a little funny. He became cool, and people liked him as champion for a little while, but no, he can't carry the company, dude. And Mankind and the persona of Mankind, he couldn't carry the company, dude. That having like say that weirdo shit. That wasn't gonna be able to carry the WWE. He didn't have enough charisma to carry the company. You know what I mean? So it didn't matter if Mankind won this match or lost this match, and I just want to give Jake the Snake something. You know what I'm saying? I just want to show respect to Jake the Snake. And so, yeah, trust me. Jake the Snake wins this match, and that's what I'm going to say. The last match on this list is the Rockers versus the Hardy Boys. Okay? You know how people say you saved the best for last? Not in this case. I should have went up from the bottom and up to the top. This is the worst. This is the worst match in the history of matches on this thing. This is a terrible match, and I'll tell you why, okay? First of all, if I'm going to pick a tag team from that era of the Rockers, I'm going to take the Hart Foundation. But because the Hart Foundation is already on this list, I guess the Rockers had to make this list. I'm going to also take Demolition. But since Demolition is already on this list, I guess the Rockers can make it. I would also take the British Bulldogs over the Rockers. Okay? I would take the British Bulldogs over the Rockers. I might even take the Warlord and the Barbarian. You made me realize how great Rude and Jake was, especially for the times. That's what I'm saying. Referee Rude and Jake the Snake went through some shit. You know what I'm saying? That was some shit that we don't think about now. We don't remember how it went down, but that was some shit back then. Like you put a man's wife's face on your crotch and gyrated on her face and told Jake, like, look at me. Like, yeah, man, that was some crazy shit. But anyway, there was a lot of tag teams. Like, I would pick the Warlord and the Barbarian as a tag team over the fucking Rockers. Now I'm drawn. I'm going too far. Warlord and Barbarian, not that tag team. How about Owen Hart and Yokozuna? They was going on a little bit back then. You know what I'm saying? How about Owen Hart and Bob Holly, the Spark Plugs? Owen Hart and Coco Beware. Remember Owen Hart and Coco Beware was like high energy or high something, and they had the checker pants on and whatever. I wouldn't put them over the Rockers, but the Rockers are not the team to even be on this list. Like, you had Hart Foundation, you had Demolition, you should have had the British Bulldogs. I don't know why we left them off. We were going to put 3 tag teams on there. You should have, could have had the British Bulldogs, but you got the Rockers, and you got the Rockers in here against the Hardy Boys. Let's just say something about the Rockers, okay? They even were tag team champions. They won the tag team titles against the Hart Foundation one time in a dark match where the ring broke, and the WWE was basically so embarrassed about that match that they just took it completely out of history. They just took it out of history. They wiped out the win. They wiped out the title change. They just gave the belts back to the Hart Foundation, and they said, we're going to start the fuck over. And then after that was basically fuck the Rockers. Fuck the Rockers, because Shawn Michaels was on the road to becoming the greatest of all time. The Heartbreak Kid was on the road to becoming the greatest of all time, and Marty Jannetty was on the road to getting a bunch of tag team partners and realizing he wasn't that damn good and getting the fuck on out of here. That's the road that the Rockers was on. Okay? But the Rockers never won tag team championships. The Rockers don't even have a definitive match. There's no definitive match with the Rockers to say anything about them as a tag team. There's no definitive match with the Rockers. The Hardy Boys have all of those table ladders and chairs. The Hardy Boys have all of those tag team championships they won. The Hardy Boys even went to AEW, won the championship. The Hardy Boys are winning. The Hardy Boys are championships. The Hardy Boys put championship wrestling back on the map. What they did with the Dudleys, what they did with Edge and Christian, tag team wrestling was damn near gone. Tag team wrestling was damn near non-existent until the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and them Dudleys put that shit back on the map. And to have them in a dream match against the Rockers is ridiculous. Okay? Jeff Hardy is a way better performer than Marty Jannetty. And even though Matt is not as good as Jeff, I ain't going to say Matt Hardy is as good as Jeff. Matt Hardy's not the star that Jeff was, even though Jeff got the personal problems or whatever. But Matt Hardy is significantly better as a tag team partner than Marty Jannetty. Now, they don't compare to Shawn Michaels, he's GOAT. And Jeff, Matt, they don't compare to Shawn Michaels. But you can't just throw the GOAT in with Bum and put him up against the Hardy Boys. You can't do it. You can't put the Rockers against the Hardy Boys. The Rockers are terrible. The Rockets were terrible, and I know they came out and I know they had some high-flying moves. I know they had some tag team double drop kicks and all that shit. But any standard tag team can do that shit. Okay, I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin do that same kind of shit with Brian Pillman at the Hollywood Blondes. Okay, I don't give a fuck. The Rockets in no way, shape, or form is beating the Hardy Boys. The Rockets shouldn't even be in the match with the Hardy. Okay? So now, let's see who wins the era. Okay, Hulk Hogan beats Stone Cold. That's one. Rock beats Roddy Piper. Randy Savage beats Jericho. Hart Foundation beats DX. Kurt Angle destroys Ricky the Steamboat. Dragon the Steamboat, that dude. Demolition beats the Brothers of Destruction. Jake the Snake Roberts beats Mankind. And the Hardy Boys beats the Rock. Is that a tie? Hold on, let me do it again because I didn't think it was 10 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 matches. I had 10 matches. I got to start over. Hulk Hogan beats Stone Cold. That's 1 match. The Rock beats Roddy Piper. That's 2 matches. Randy Savage beats Chris Jericho. That's 3 matches. The Hart Foundation beats Generation X. That's 4 matches. Kurt Angle beats Ricky Steamboat. That's 5 matches. Demolition beats the Brothers of Destruction. That's 6. Jake the Snake Roberts beats Mankind. So that's 5 already. And okay, the Hardy Boys win. So that's 5-3. 5-3. The old era beats the Attitude Era. 5-3. The old era beats the Attitude Era, right? So the old era beats the Attitude Era 5-3. Now we got to do the new era versus the Attitude Era. Because the Attitude Era done lost to the old era, even though the old era was supposed to be corny. Hulk Hogan was a cornball, all that shit. But they beat the Attitude Era now. So now we got to do one with the Attitude Era guys got to go against the new era, the era of wrestling right now that y'all be talking about. But we're going to do that one. And hopefully my brothers will be available to be on here live for that one. And hopefully I won't experience all these technical difficulties that I was experiencing today. I don't know why I was experiencing these technical difficulties. Maybe I got to clean my laptop out. Maybe I got to get a new router or something. Maybe I got to get one of them. They got some little amplifying boxes that you can connect to the router and then connect to somewhere else. Maybe I got to find one of them or something. I got to do something because I'm not going to be having these technical difficulties. I don't like them. I don't want to have them. And I don't got enough followers as it is, so I can't be affording to have somebody leave because my screen went black or some dumb shit like that. So, yeah. I am going to invest in something else to keep this thing going. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm happy for the people who stuck by me and stayed in. I'm happy for the people that left and came back. I'm happy for all of these comments, even though I didn't know what, I'm going to just explain something. I didn't know what some of you Facebook users were because usually it comes up with your name, and today for some reason it came up and it said Facebook user. So I'm going to figure out how to fix that too. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to fix that too so that I can see who it is commenting. I'm going to figure it all out. The next episode is going to be better than this one, for sure. Not better content, because this was fire content. It ain't going to be better content, but the technical difficulties is going to be gone. I'd like to thank the co-host. And I'm going to have another conversation with him after the show. Me and him got to talk a little bit more. But I like to thank him. I like to thank Macho Man over there. He was pissed off at me. He was pissed off at me a little bit over there. But he came back. I like to thank my Decepticon security team, Freddy Krueger's over there. I like to thank whoever was in here, whoever listened, whoever commented. I like to thank all of y'all. Give a shout out to Start 5. Starting 5 is mostly every Sunday at 1 p.m. Sometimes we change the time because life. But for the most part, Starting 5 is every Sunday at 1 p.m. It's 4 guys around my age as well. Yeah, 4 guys. 4 guys and me. That's 5. Start 5. There's 4 guys around my age. We talk shit about everything. We can talk about everything, politics, whatever. Sometimes we argue. They think they better than me. They not. But I digress on that. And you'll see it. Just go over to the Starting 5. It's on YouTube. Look up Starting 5. Instagram, YouTube. Follow me. Go on my YouTube page. Follow me. Hey, wait. Before I go, Before I leave this today, I'm going to say something to the 454 and to all the power drivers out there in Philadelphia. Everybody who's in my local, okay? The math ain't mathing, all right? The math ain't mathing. Because I'm doing this podcast, right? And I got four Dangerous Dummies episodes. 4 Dangerous Dummies episodes where a lot of you are included. A lot of you are partially stars in those episodes. A lot of you are in those episodes, okay? And I give shout outs to a lot of you on my show. I give shout outs to everybody who participates, okay? Anybody who participates, anybody who talks to me, anybody who's a power driver, anything that happens at work, I give shout outs to all the power drivers on my show. I got 4 episodes, which includes a lot of you in those episodes, and I don't embarrass you. I don't embarrass you. I kept your name out to keep you safe for people to not know who you are when you do something stupid, but I still made you kind of a star, you know? Helped you out, you know what I'm saying? And anybody that contributes, I'll put you on. And I even had one of you on as a guest that people know that me and him didn't actually get along in real life, but I still let this guy, a power driver, come on and be a guest on my show, okay? And I know for a fact that we probably got over 1,000 members in our local. Okay, that's the number that I'm just throwing out there. It might be less, it might be more, but I'm gonna say 1,000 in general. There's 1,000 of you out there, and most of y'all know me. Most of y'all know me. I've been in this joint for a lot of years, and I met a lot of y'all, and the ones that don't know me, you heard about me. Okay, you know who the lifter is, you know who Tyrone is, and you damn sure know that when I go to that union meeting, I say what's up, and I try to shake everybody's motherfucker. I tried to. Some of y'all I don't like. But for the most part, I try to shake every one of you's motherfucking hands when I come in that union meeting, right? So for my YouTube, which is free, to have only 196 subscribers, and most of them ain't even power drivers, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I'm relying on the kindness of strangers to the support of the podcast that I put you guys in, support of the podcast that I give you guys props for, support of the podcast that I make videos about work on. And I make a lot of videos about work too, and I always say power drivers is the best. I always put us in a good light. I never put us in a bad light. Even Dangerous Dummies, yeah, I call us Dangerous Dummies, but I always say it's a disclaimer on every one of those fucking episodes that say that what we do is serious, we take it seriously, and I show respect. So I should have at least 500 subscribers on my YouTube. So I'm telling y'all right now, all you power drivers, go over there and get busy, okay? Get busy. I need you guys to go over to my YouTube, the Lifter Podcast on YouTube, and go ahead on and hit that subscribe button, okay? You ain't got to watch. You ain't got to listen. You ain't got to pay. All you got to do is hit the fucking button on your computer. Can y'all do that for me? Can y'all do that for me? Because if not, there's going to be some consequences and repercussions. I'm going to stop being the best foreman in the local, okay? I'm going to stop. No, I'm not. I'm not going to stop doing that, but I'm going to stop some shit. Yeah. Y'all going to pay for this. Just know that. But right now, I need y'all to go on over there. So shout out to the power drivers once again. And I thank y'all for going over there and subscribing. Because y'all going to do that shit today, right? Y'all going to get on it? Okay, thank you so much. This has been another episode of the Lifter Podcast. And I'm out. And like I said before, I'm going to take care of those technical difficulties today. But thank you.